Hello class, welcome to the Introduction to Logic from Bergen Community College, Fall 2020. I'm going to make a short video here in which I want to go over a couple of things. First, I want to just introduce myself, and then second, I want to introduce the class and give you your first assignment. So about myself, I'm Professor Eric Wicke. I've been teaching the Intro to Logic for about 3 or 4 years now. And I really like this class because it's kind of an opportunity to be a little bit more technical about thinking, a little bit more scientific, as opposed to how we are a little bit more free in the other classes, ethics and introduction to philosophy. So about the class, I divided that up into 2 sections. I want to talk about the mechanics and the kind of give you a little bit of content of what we're going to talk about this semester. And the content will really amount to just giving a collection of definitions. But first, the mechanics. I see the class as divided up into 4 different elements that I've written here. First will be readings from the textbook and videos, which I will put up on Moodle. Next will be assignments on those, also on Moodle. Then we will have 4 quizzes distributed throughout the semester, and then a final. Don't worry about the quizzes or the final. We'll give plenty of advance notice as to when they will be, and we'll go over what is on each one of them beforehand, so there's no surprises. And lastly, number 4, I sort of have the idea that we should have a weekly Zoom meeting. Its purpose is just, for us to touch base and to keep in contact. It's really our only live interaction, so I think it's important. But I haven't decided when these will be or how long they will be, how they'll be formatted. So what I thought was when the semester begins, we will decide as a class when we will have them. And we have to have them at a time when everyone can do it, and just how long they will be. I think it's probably going to be easiest, most convenient if we do it in the evening, but we'll go over that when the semester starts. So that's pretty much it for the mechanics. One other thing I guess is, I kind of have a plan for the way the semester will go, and that will be, let me write that down, plan, and that will be weekly assignments. And I will give you your first tonight in this video, and I will also put the first assignment on Moodle so you can read it there and you don't have to rewind this video 20 times to get the assignment. But the idea is I'll put something up on Moodle once a week, either a reading from the textbook or a video, and I will give you questions on it. You will respond to the questions and, return it. What I would like for you to do, though, is try to get it back to me early in the week or soon after the assignment is given to give me time to correct it, return it with grades, so we don't get into a cycle of, I'm way behind on the grading, and, I've got 3 assignments out there and I haven't graded 2 of them. I don't want to get into that position if it's avoidable. It might happen, but we'll see. So that's pretty much the mechanics of the class. So now I want to do a little bit about the content. And like I said, that will consist in a collection of definitions. And I have them written down here. I have 7 of them altogether, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not that much. The first is, what is logic, of course. The second one is, what is an argument? 3 is, what is a statement? The 4th is parts of arguments. And the 5th is argument kinds. And this amounts to 2 kinds, inductive and B, deductive. So that's where I get the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5. Well, okay, so I guess really ultimately that's 6, since I divided number 5 into 2. Oh, when I just dropped my pen cap. But let's just go over these one at a time quickly. I'll explain to you what each of these are. And, you know, this is the kind of thing where when we have our Zoom meeting, I can ask you if these made sense to you, if you've got these, no problem, or if there are any questions on them. But let's just go over them. Number 1, what is logic? And it's really very simple. Logic is the study of arguments. And that's really all it's about. Logic is about arguments. So, you know, a good question next is, well, what is an argument? And an argument is nothing but a collection of statements with the purpose of trying to prove something. It's a collection of statements that tries to prove one further statement, known as the conclusion. And that's all an argument is a collection of statements meant as a proof. In fact, you could say even the word argument is a synonym for the word proof. So you might, and if an argument is a collection of statements, you're wondering, well, what is a statement? And a statement is just this. A statement is a collection of words, usually a sentence, that has the capacity to be shown to be true or false. And that's really the key point. It can be true or false. It's not necessarily that it has to be true or it has to be false, but it can be shown to be one or the other. So for example, if I say, would you shut the door? That's not a statement because it can't really be shown to be true or false. There's nothing to really check. But if I ask you, is the door closed? And you say, yes, the door is closed. The door is closed is a statement because you can just go check. You can go look, is the door closed? Yes or no, it's either true or false. And that's the key notion. I should actually write that. T or F. Now, parts of arguments. There are really only 2 parts to arguments. There is the premise of an argument, or the collection of premises, and there is the conclusion. The premises are the statements put together that are meant as proof or evidence in support of the last statement, the conclusion. So the premises support the final statement, which is the conclusion, and that's really, fundamentally, that's what arguments are. So look at how far we've gotten. We're already up to number 5. Now the kinds of arguments. Fundamentally, there's really only 2 kinds of arguments. There are inductive arguments and there are deductive arguments. And let me quickly just explain the difference between the 2. In an inductive argument, the premises are collected and they are meant to support the conclusion in a probabilistic way. So for example, say you want to decide or figure out or find out or discover whether a population has a certain characteristic. Well, you can't study the whole population, so you take a sample and you hope that the sample is representative of the population as a whole. But the thing is, when you draw a conclusion based on a sample, the representativeness is probable. It's not necessarily that that characteristic holds for every member of the population. So it's a probabilistic argument. Deductive arguments, by contrast, in deductive arguments, by contrast, the conclusion is the conclusion follows necessarily from the premises. So if I say, well, all the angles of a triangle add up to 180. And once that's been proved, that's necessarily the case. And in fact, if I try to argue that all the angles of a certain figure do not add up to 180, it's not that the argument is faulty, it's that it's not a triangle you're talking about. So the 2 key words to remember for these, inductive arguments are probable, and deductive arguments are necessary. I'm going to write it down here, I guess I don't have enough room. I should put those in quotes too. And just remember those 2 key words. Inductive arguments are probable, or probabilistic, I guess they say. And deductive arguments are necessary. That is, they must be true. if the premises are true. Inductive arguments, if the premises are all true, it's highly probable, highly likely that the conclusion is true, but not absolutely necessary. Okay, so these are some of our most basic concepts in logic, which is why I've got them listed here and tried to give you definitions of them. But let's give you now your first assignment for the semester. And again, I'm going to put this up on Moodle so you can go read it and not have to rewind the video. Now, this is not from the textbook. This is just something I thought up that I hope will be fun and interesting, but we'll see. But the assignment is this. First, declare in a statement, not in a question, not in a command, but in a statement, something that can be shown to be true or false, whether, let me put it this way, let me write it this way. Declare whether you believe that the earth is round or flat. One or the other. You could say your statement could be that the earth is flat. We're not really interested in whether it's which statement you pick. So your first statement, you declare your belief as to the flatness or the roundness of the earth, and that will be a conclusion of an argument. And your job, your assignment is to assemble a set of statements, assemble a collection of evidence in support of your conclusion, one way or the other. So I will put an example in Moodle. I kind of thought one up off the top of my head, and it goes like this. Statement 1, the Whole Earth Catalog has a photograph on the cover of the Earth. Statement 2, inside the cover, there's a caption that says, "This is a photo of Earth taken from space." Statement 3, Statement 3, it looks round in the picture, and statement 4 is, therefore, the conclusion, the Earth must be round. Now, the real interesting part of this is, well, is that a complete set of premises? Is that all you need to say? Is there more to say? Is there, what else could be said? Because you might take the opposite tack. You might say, well, the Earth is flat, and you might assemble statements there. So again, that's your first assignment. I tried to give you a little bit about some of our basic terminology and logic, and we'll do the assignment, and after we've done this assignment, then we'll start in with the textbook. So I think that's going to be it for our introductory video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.